Welcome. I hope you enjoy the conversation you're about to hear between me and another comedian regarding comedy and religion. These are conversations I'm calling Disorganized Religion. God bless, and for those atheists out there, may nothing await you after this life.
Your brain.
Yeah.
Either way, so it when you do it enough,
Yeah.
reality starts to get a little slippery.
So you're not even sure if you're here right now.
So that's kind of what I was saying with the ear thing. Because if you say things like "you've gone deaf in your right ear," I'm more liable to believe that. You're like,
oh no. Well, that's cool.
interesting. Deal
Babe,
with that.
you got to sit on my right side.
Yeah. Fuck.
So, have you seen this before or not?
I've watched clips from Instagram, but I haven't watched any full episodes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like
so
when
we're
you
just going to
posted.
talk about history of comedy, like for your personal history, what got you
Okay.
started, what you like about it, what you don't like about it.
Terrific.
If you want to get more theoretical about your writing method or joke structure in general,
I wish I had that.
we can get into that. Otherwise, we'll just keep it to what, you
Hell
know.
yeah.
And then we'll talk about your spiritual upbringing, religious thoughts, anything like that.
Beautiful.
And then we'll
I'm
close
down.
out
I'm excited.
with some plugs. Whatever you wanna,
Yay.
yeah. Okay.
Boom.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
How's hosting the U.S. comedy contest going for you?
It's awesome. It's so great to see so many people out there trying their hardest.
Yeah. You're being so diplomatic right now. You're so good.
I feel like I have had to learn diplomacy
yeah.
in Hollywood more than, especially in comedy.
Yeah.
Because people who tell jokes about rape and such on stage are also so very sensitive. in
What
their
are you
real
saying
life.
about me right now?
No, I think that's like how you know that you're the least sensitive because you're up there and you're like, so my kids, just sober life.
yeah, that's
And
true.
so like, you know, you talk to you and you're like, yeah, I'm a normal, well-adjusted adult. And then you meet
Somewhat.
some of these kids that are out there. It's just
Sure.
But also, it's really cool to see people that are, you know, like I go to a lot of mics and a lot of shows, and I spend a lot
Yeah.
of time out there, and so I know like a lot of comics.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see comics I've never seen before,
Mm.
who are not all terrible.
Yeah, of course.
And
Yeah, of course.
Tell me what that's like.
and they're bringing people with them who want to see comedy.
Yeah.
Like seeing someone I've never seen before come in and have their Instagram name taped on the back of their shirt,
Oh.
but bring 12 people with them
Yeah.
who laugh at everyone's jokes.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
You
care
can come
what
to
he
every
says.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say
I
the
need to
N-word for
book those
5
people.
minutes. I don't care. I'm going to book you every time.
You're an albino white guy? Yeah.
Go.
The world's your oyster.
Yeah.
Read the dictionary.
But yeah, that's been the good part of the
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah. Good. Have we started rolling already?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh. That was all on. Hey, welcome to Disorganized Religion. I'm your host, as always, Seth Lawrence. We've got the disembodied voice of Travis Clyburn.
Jesus Christ.
Every time. I'm waiting for it to get really blasphemous.
Yes.
And then it's going to
Not
get
yet.
exciting.
I am the God voice.
Yeah.
Elron, is that you?
Sign this billionaire contract, please.
I love it. And today's guest is the mighty and bubbly and just deliciously likable Mike Eaton.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I sound like a
Welcome.
new flavor of Starburst. That's awesome. He's deliciously bubbly.
Deliciously bubbly.
Hello.
How are you, Mike?
I'm amazing.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yes, you are.
It's
We
what a
made
great
it.
place to be.
Yeah, this is good. I'm
It
glad you
is.
made it.
I'm so glad I made it. It's every time I get in my car in LA, it's just a terrifying adventure.
You're rolling the dice?
Yeah.
We get sevens.
Yeah.
What are you after? Yeah. Good. Well, so we're going to talk about what got you started in comedy.
Depression.
Really? Just
Yeah.
outright?
Yeah.
Was it like you're on the therapist couch and they were like,
No.
I'm done
So,
listening? Or no?
I was like a class clown always.
Yeah.
I think this is a very common story. I feel
Yeah.
like nothing about me is unique. Like, oh well.
Well, I will say your suburban and well-off background is unique.
but that's a stretch of it. So
Oh.
the first part was poor.
Oh.
When I was born, it was like my parents. My dad loved drinking, just like
Interesting.
so much.
Really?
And so he just was so good at it.
Yeah.
And then he had to quit because it ruined his life. He
What?
got that
No
good at
way.
drinking. Yeah. So it's like the optimistic
I
version
never
of
would have thought that
of
would have
alcoholism.
happened.
I'm losing. I'm losing hearing.
Yeah, mine's going to. So
Okay,
it's not your
I'm
trip.
not a professional. I can't just like.
We're good. It's
Like,
just a
we'll
headphone
do it
mixer.
live. We'll do it live. I can't just
You're not
power
Bill
through.
O'Reilly?
No, with those noises.
It's good.
So
They
yeah,
don't even know that's happening.
I know. That's why I said I wish I was professional and didn't have to break.
I mean, we both wish we were
illusion.
professional, but
Ooh,
you
yeah,
know,
money's
it's
dope.
fine. We're at the fourth wall and we're breaking it.
Yes.
So there you go.
It should be fine now.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Good.
think I
Thanks.
fixed it.
Thanks, God.
You're welcome, my lord.
So-
Or my
It's on
son. Damn it.
So parents divorced
Get
it
up.
to dad quit drinking, and
Yeah.
then like life was just sad for everybody pretty
Oh.
much for a while.
Yeah.
And then my dad got his together and worked his off and ended up getting back into law, and then
Oh.
had his own law firm, and that's when he
Yeah.
started making bank.
Sure.
So that's when we moved to like
What kind of lawyer was he?
it's a tax law. So he did
Oh yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
intersection of state and federal tax for
Ooh,
low income
That's
housing.
lucrative.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
and
he
what years was he doing this?
This was 2002 to 2008 is when to bed because
Yeah.
no one was building more low income housing developments when
Yeah.
the market.
One,
Yeah.
yeah, couldn't pay for anything.
Yeah, so that was when like the spiral back down started. But
Oh, sure.
yeah, so I've had a very up and down life. Like I've been homeless
Interesting.
before. So like people when I say like I grew up rich, people
Oh,
are like
so-
kill yourself. I was like I've tried. Like
That's so funny. Yeah, the only parts of your set that I've seen are when you talk about your wealthy background.
yeah,
right.
and that's
The-
fun to just play up on stage.
Yeah.
But not all of that is like I mean like I wasn't like just dollars,
yeah. Gotcha.
but I
I
was
thought we
very
had something in
privileged.
common.
Yeah.
Now I realize we don't.
Damn it. That would be so cool.
Mm.
See, that's what I would do if I was God. I would just allow like one of every million wishes to come true.
Oh, sure.
Because people are always just thinking like, I wish that would
What do
happen.
you think prayers are?
A waste of time.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I don't think anyone's ever prayed for the biggest penis in the world, but they have wished for the biggest penis. In the
I
world, you know
disagree.
what I mean?
I'm Catholic.
Oh, fair enough.
Dear God.
Please make my
big
penis.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah,
so you're a class clown.
I was class clown. I
up
went
and
to
down
Catholic
childhood.
school.
Yeah.
And I was always getting in trouble, but also getting like special treatment because they knew I was smart. So like,
Oh, interesting.
I would get grounded for showing all the other kids porn in first grade.
Okay.
'Cause,
Of course you did. Yeah.
But then also when
Jeez.
I can't remember if it
How
was.
did you do that in first grade? You
So-
took a magazine with you?
No, even better. So on the drive to school, there was a
VHS?
website called AdamEve.com that was advertising.
Wait, how
on a
old are you?
billboard. I'm 28.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. All right, go on. I thought you were like 43.
Yeah, that
No, I'm
makes
just
that
kidding.
makes more sense. My liver is 50, so
Gotcha. So the internet was around. When
yeah,
you were...
yeah. I had a computer
Okay.
from a very early age,
Yeah.
and so
Of course
I
you
had
did.
found this website,
Yeah.
and it was like a sex. Later, I found out it was a sex toy website, but it had lots of previews and stuff.
Oh,
of just,
sure.
of boobies.
Yeah.
and so like you.
Which is all that matters.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
would email it to my friends because we all had our own school email address.
Oh, wow.
Tied to
Yeah,
our
yeah,
name.
yeah.
So I emailed it to my friend, and then I got in trouble.
Got in trouble.
So that happened, but then
Yeah.
also I can't remember if it was. I don't think it was the Pope, but it wasn't the Pope.
It probably wasn't.
It probably wasn't.
I
the
mean,
Pope.
it might have been, but I think you
So
would
this
have
guy
remembered
figured
it.
me while he's wearing this weird hat. No,
It's probably just a cardinal.
no. I think it was a bishop or somebody, but he came to do a special mass at Catholic school, and so they picked all the people to do the Lord Hear Our Prayer parts at the end of mass.
Sure.
I forget what the they're called. My grandma's probably gonna cry right now.
Oh, gosh.
Grandma, I'm sorry. So also,
Yeah.
don't watch this.
I love the idea of your grandma being an avid podcast listener.
Yeah, I hope.
Grandma's real into Rogan. I mean,
But
Just
she's not
getting-
playing bridge and yelling racial slurs. She loves podcasting.
She's making
been
and breaking
taking Alpha
careers.
Brain.
Yeah.
She has so many kettlebells.
One shaped like a gorilla.
She eats
Oh,
elk jerky for
boy.
breakfast.
Yeah. Up at 4 a.m.
I would love if my grandma was a huge brogan. Just,
She's just like downing whey in the corner,
she
Killed
shaves
an
her
elk
head.
last
Yeah.
week.
talking to
My
Elron.
pussy grandson won't even go bow hunting with me.
Grandson's a soy boy.
She's throwing up Proud Boy signs.
Oh, man.
It's hilarious.
Terrible. So you got in trouble, but you. Oh,
but
okay. So you're
then I
singing the
get
Lord's Prayer
promoted
part.
to do the part everybody says.
Promoted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end of Mass, there's like 4 kids that get to say the cool
Got it.
after the priest says
Latin or in English?
in English.
Yeah,
We
okay.
didn't even have to with that Latin stuff.
Wow. All right.
I did that later, but but so my whole
I'm not
family.
talking about women right now. We'll get into that later.
Both sides of my family are super duper Catholic, and they're there, and they get
Yeah.
to see me, the problem demon child, say some at Mass. They're so excited.
Oh, of course.
They're the most excited you could be.
Yeah.
And so I get up there, and I'm at the podium, and mine was the super suck up one. Like they gave me the just. Poof. It was
Oh.
like for our Archbishop, this person, and this person,
Oh.
and the Pope John Paul, Lord, hear
Yeah.
our prayer. And then everybody says that.
Yeah.
So I
What did you say?
remixed it a little
course
bit.
you
I
did.
said the words just right,
Wooka wooka.
but then I did whoop for the Lord hear our prayer part because I just thought it needed some spice.
Oh, my
Because
goodness.
this is pretty boring, but whoop.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did that, but there's for sure a God because a bee stung my ear maybe half a second later.
Wow.
So I went whoop ah and slapped my ear into the microphone.
Unbelievable.
hilarious.
And everybody
Oh.
said it? Did everyone follow you?
That would have been the greatest thing to ever
Yeah.
happen in history.
Yeah.
Is
but
if
no.
everyone had to confusingly yell.
Yeah.
No, I was in deep doo-doo for that one. I was almost expelled.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
But man, if I wish with all my heart I could have seen the looks on my grandmother's faces when that happened, because I know that when I did the arm thing, there was an
Yeah.
eye roll.
Yeah.
and then
But then-
but then
the bee sting.
I think the more Catholic one was probably like, good.
Yeah.
It's like she saw the bee, was like, you deserved it.
Everyone's faith should be confirmed
Yeah.
right now.
Right?
Oh my gosh. That's great.
Oh.
That's great.
But
So wait, why do you keep on referring to your grandma? Is she the most religious in your family?
I had 2. One's
Well,
dead.
sure, that's
but they both
typical.
are super Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Your parents not so much.
they've since shifted away. They were
Oh,
growing
okay.
up. They both had like spiritual weight. We all kind of did our own little spiritual journeys.
Yeah.
I think God died in our house at some point in time. We were all like, let's
Interesting.
figure this out.
Yeah.
Except my mom still super loves Jesus.
Yeah.
Like the most.
I mean, how can you not?
And she like texts me like Jesus loves you stuff all the
Oh,
time.
that's
She's
so
a
sweet.
very sweet lady. It's
Yeah.
the nicest. She is the reason I stopped being like angry at religious people.
Interesting.
'Cause
You
I
were
was-
before?
Yeah, because I went
Yeah.
from like Catholic to like non-denominational to like just trying to girls.
Sure.
And that was just
Yeah.
like whatever church
Yeah.
that was at.
Yeah, you're still in that phase, right?
I don't really have any beliefs. I just want to figure something.
Who's got the hottest chicks?
Yeah, and that was still non-denominational. And then
Right.
after I think so, I failed out of college my first year. And,
Uh-huh.
just had a whole blunder there, and then went into a 12 program.
Yeah.
And so like during that time, I was like, all right, let's figure out God again. And I was like, God's not real. And then I spent so much time with that I built up a huge resentment towards God.
Oh,
And was like, people that believe in this are the world over. Like,
sure.
can't you just let your dead people be dead? You have to believe in heaven. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then seeing the progress of like my mom and the
Yeah.
way that she is doing God the right way. Like,
Yeah.
she like is a really good. She's the most giving and kind person I've ever.
Sure.
And she like gets her spiritual centering from church.
Yeah.
So like I can get why it has value.
Uh-huh.
I went through that phase as well, that militant atheist phase.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it's especially just being from a really repressed small town and stuff like that. Like you see everyone being a dick with religion.
Yeah.
And so the moment in like, especially like, were you one of the only people that was like not believing in God for a while?
I mean, probably. I was like shunned by my family for my beliefs.
Yeah, same
For
these.
sure.
And when that happens, then you just start turning on everybody. Like, you believe in God, you're a stupid piece of You
Yeah.
start freaking out.
When you get
But then
into
you
the
call
internet.
them. Yeah. Oh, especially the internet.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's so many grown men that are like, religion's terrible. And so mad. I'm like, you haven't calmed down yet? Damn.
I think that's because they have not figured out how to keep those feelings inside long enough to a lady.
Yeah. That's a really good
Is that
point.
the problem?
Yeah.
Did you have trouble dating women being not
Dating,
religious?
yes. Well,
Yes.
no, it had nothing to do with religion. It's just my awful
Oh, okay.
personality.
Because I was legitimately told because I don't believe in something that they wouldn't date me. I've had that
So
happen.
my town had like 30,000 people. And
Oh, okay.
Where
so
are you
had
from,
more.
Mike?
South Lake.
South Lake.
South Lake is where I claim, Texas.
Okay.
It's a small suburb
Oh, wow, Texas. That's
halfway between like Dallas
Yeah.
and Fort Worth.
Yeah, got it.
I switched those in my hands, even though that there was nothing for anyone else to see. They were labeled in my hands the wrong way in my head. And I was like, wait, switch
this
those. Idiot.
It's okay. There's no test here today. You've passed. So
like
great.
Minority Report. I'm just like the world's worst precog.
For those who cannot see, because
I'm just
no
a
one
voice.
can see. Yeah. And for all of the podcast listeners, there was a segment there of Travis pretending to be Tom Cruise in
Sorry you couldn't see it, Grandma.
Minority Report,
Grandma Mom.
but doing it incredibly badly.
Hey, Grandma's a huge Tom Cruise fan.
Yeah, I would feel badly
She
for
loves that
those
middle tooth.
who had no depth perception in the Minority Report.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
You know who really gets the worst off in the Minority Report?
Who's that?
Minorities.
they're not even in the film.
Yeah, it's so weird. Usually,
That's a really good point.
in Family Guy, you always see the Family Guy.
Sure.
Like, where are the minorities?
That's a great. I don't know. They were all in prison, I guess, in that movie.
Ooh, what an interesting critique of society.
I guess that's the way they put them.
But also, it is pretty woke of them to not have any minorities committing the crimes.
yeah,
They didn't stop any pre-crime by any minorities.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I do like when they say like it's a perfect future and then it's just only white people cast in the movie. I'm like, all right, guys,
what is this? The Jetsons?
come on, yeah. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Man, we're getting racial here
Yeah,
today.
it's hard to do
This
as
is
three
taking a
white
turn
guys.
I did not want to go. Yeah. I mean, you even bleached your hair whiter.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing.
Yeah, I just I was looking for colors and I picked one that was called the Final Solution. So so stupid.
That's the best.
Oh my goodness.
But so comedy happened.
Very early for you.
I was always
Mostly
trying
physical,
to be
it
funny.
sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember a lot of times like making fun of myself for being fat. Like I remember distinctly this one girl I had a crush on and me joking. Like, you know how like some guys were like, I'll be mean and then she'll did that
sure.
thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did it, but with funny words.
Yeah.
And so
to
I was
yourself.
like, hey, AK, my tits are bigger than yours. It's like, I thought that was, you know,
totally get her.
right?
Yeah.
It didn't.
Well,
It never worked.
you
never
tried.
worked. But you know, I remember like trying to be funny for girls and
Yeah.
trying to be funny for people to like me in general because I was just so terrified someone wouldn't like me.
Oh, sure.
I'm an only child. I have divorced parents.
Oh,
They're
is that
both
right?
Workaholics.
Yeah,
so like,
yeah.
I needed attention.
You needed attention. Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Of
oh, give it
course.
to me.
What do I have to do?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think like it's so funny if I had had like hippie, awesome, like cool parents, like
Sure.
I would have been like a theater kid. Like
Yeah.
I would have been one of those for sure. Instead, I was a jock. I played football.
Yeah.
And I was also like a nerd. So I was like the one that was in all the AP classes and
Yeah.
football
Yeah.
and doing drugs.
Interesting.
Like, it
you
was,
hit every group.
And I remember there was like a time my sophomore year, I was driving out of the parking lot junior year. I was driving
Yeah.
out of the parking lot and another guy ran over my car with his truck. Like literally monster
Like you had a
trucked
monster
it.
truck?
Yeah,
Okay,
he had like
yeah.
a F-350 with like 18-inch lift kit,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
40-inch
Oh, damn.
tires.
Right. And he
the
was,
road
what,
armor
12?
hooks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Jeez.
I mean, it's Texas. Like
Yeah,
there's
of
a
course
lot
they
of
did.
big trucks that
Yeah, he
they
probably
would
had,
roll
like, 8
coal and
dead
shoot out
deer
the
in
big
the
smoke.
back.
No, they did not hunt.
Oh, no.
No, these were suburban cowboys. They had 8
Oh,
like
yeah.
Stein-studded jeans. in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
back.
yeah.
They do
Beautiful.
mudding and like housing developments that
Yeah,
aren't built yet.
exactly. Nailed it. 100%.
know.
We go off the side of like major freeways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So I had, and this is in the good period of my life. So my first car
Okay.
was a Jaguar.
Oh,
so I have
wow.
like this really beautiful Jaguar, and it has this long nose. I'm backed into a parking space,
Yeah.
and every morning I would drive out of school and I would go get breakfast somewhere. So
Yeah.
I'm leaving football practice to go get breakfast, and as I pull out, his hooks under my wheel well.
Oh,
bounces my
jeez.
car off another car, just destroys it.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely destroyed. And everybody that saw it started the rumor that I died.
Oh, okay.
I was actually I hit
You
my
were
head really
fine.
hard on the window. I
Uh-huh.
forgot math
Damn.
for the most part.
Wow.
But like, it you know, it was fine.
Yeah.
But everybody started a rumor I died. So when I walked into class later that day,
Oh, no.
it was literally a 50-50 split of people being like
Like,
angered
what the?
and relieved.
Yeah.
Like some people were like, "Oh, he's here." Like so I like that was the
Interesting.
person I was and I was a big old
Yeah.
for a long time. So I think comedy.
Was? No. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
no, that's very fair.
No, you're a very likable person.
Kindly.
I try to be kind now on
Yeah.
purpose.
Is it a conscious choice for you?
Like when I was being diplomatic earlier describing
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
my brain could just turn off a filter and be like, you
Sure.
know?
Right.
But I choose to look at a positive and kind angle on things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that same spin of like finding what's funny about stuff is also comedy.
Yeah.
So I got on stage for the first time after like my first serious breakup.
Oh, okay.
I was dating this girl. I thought we were gonna get married, and it was like, this is the one.
Yeah.
And I'm like a mom.
Why'd you guys break up?
That's. I mean, that's fun to talk about.
Oh, you don't want to get into it?
No, I don't give. It's just depressing.
Well, then let's
Yeah.
go. No, that's fine. We don't have to talk
got pretty
about it.
codependent and like
Yeah,
never really
just a bad relationship.
developed our own identities, and we both cheated and never really reconciled that.
Yeah.
And it was both of us pretending that we could make something work.
Sure.
Because we wanted the other person to be who we'd fallen in love with.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
eventually it just got so stressful that we split apart.
Yeah. Now, were you guys both? Were you religious at this time, or no? This was
no.
after.
I'd fixed that. She was.
Uh-huh.
She loved it, and that was like even like a point of like you were saying that
Contention,
earlier,
right?
like in
Yeah.
our relationship at one point, she said that she didn't know that she believed in evolution and that she was not
yeah.
sure if the world was really as old as it was. And
Yeah.
I said that I lost respect for her intellectually.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, well, that really hurt. And
Yeah.
I was like, it also hurt to find out I'm dating a retard. You know, like, sucks to hear something like, well, I don't know about evolution. Like,
Yeah.
why? Because my mom, like,
Adam and
yeah.
Eve. Yeah.
It is one thing when like a friend believes something, that you think is silly.
Yeah.
But when it's someone you're dating, you're like, man, come on.
I don't want to put my brand on
The
that.
point of dating
I don't
though,
want
is
to
like,
reproduce this idiot.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like eventually dating should always lead to like something. And like if I'm gonna dump a kid in someone, like I don't want him to pop
yeah.
out a little half idiot. You know? Like,
It's a very I mean, just the highest way to speak about
Dump a
procreation.
dump a kid in someone. I don't want them to be half an
Your
idiot.
level of respect for that is quite astounding.
And this is why I don't want kids for several more years.
Sure. No, I
If
agree
at
with
all.
you.
Yeah. Most people do. Oddly enough, like everyone
so
I met that's a
weird.
parent that's like,
No,
oh
that's
yeah,
fine.
you should wait. That's a
Yeah,
good idea.
that's
Yeah.
I do.
Thanks.
I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
think
all my
everyone-
married friends
yeah.
that are like, hey, don't ever do this. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's not because it's terrible. It's
No.
just you're not ready.
exactly. It's awesome.
Sure. That's fun.
All
right, so
I
you
went through
got
that
on
breakup,
stage, yeah.
and I was in Dallas at the time, and I went and I signed up for the Hyenas open mic
Okay.
in Mockingbird Station,
Yeah.
and I went up I think 38th.
Okay.
It was me and another guy. I was selling Cutco knives at the time.
Oh, nice.
Love
Love me some Cutco.
Actually, I
knives.
might have been done with Cutco. Oh no, I had quit Cutco. Drugs.
Were you cut from Cutco?
No, I had a
Terrible joke.
That was great. I love it.
I had a breakup with Cutco as well.
He had
You
to
wanna do
sharpen
more
his skills elsewhere.
I had to take a stab at other jobs.
Oh, I love it.
Knife.
Oh, that's terrible. Just giving up completely. Oh my goodness. Just terrible. Yeah.
So me and another guy that I knew from Cutco, he was still doing Cutco. I was no longer.
Got
Cutco.
it. And you both were there at the mic.
Yeah, we both went to do the mic,
Yeah.
and we both went up. And then a guy that I knew, because I was also working at Trader Joe's,
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, do you want to MC this event that I've got? It's the
Oh.
Trash Bash Music Stash."
Nice.
I'm like, oh,
yeah.
cool. Like,
Yeah.
that sounds fun. This is so
Are you
true.
going out?
Yeah, I
again?
have nothing. I have nothing, and it just feels muffled. And it just feels it came back
It's
so
back.
with a
Again, they have
vengeance.
no idea this is going on.
I can't
yes.
handle this.
Go on.
I'm just being honest.
I know. I appreciate it, Mike.
I had to smoke a bowl to deal with traffic this morning. So
Oh
like,
my goodness.
you know.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
A bowl of
What a
cereal.
great,
Yeah, a bowl of
what
cereal.
a
viewers at
great
home.
view on the world, though. I was just saying this to someone the other day. Like, I would love all of the joy and fun and goodness I get out of doing drugs
Yeah,
without having
just
to do
naturally.
drugs. Oh, it'd be so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
I
don't know
don't-
if it's the same.
It's not.
Yeah.
I've
I
done
don't know.
both.
Yeah, and it's Better without, right?
Yeah, for sure, but
Just tell me it is.
yeah.
Anyhow, all right. So
I'm doing this Trash Bash Music Stash.
Yeah.
I've never done any MC work before.
okay,
This is my second time getting on stage.
yeah,
I have no material.
because the
prepared.
hyenas was the first time.
Yes.
How'd that go? Was it good?
I
Bad?
got a couple laughs.
Yeah.
I had a Bernie and Trump joke.
Oh,
It was
wow.
2016.
Oh, okay.
It was 420 of
Yeah.
2016.
Yeah.
So it went okay. And then I had a joke about world peace, which involved free birth control. And it's a dumb joke. I liked it, but
Sure.
But so
You gotta have one for yourself.
yeah,
Every
they're all
show.
for myself. These are all jokes are for me.
Yeah.
But so this Trash Bash thing happens.
Yeah.
The idea of this deal is everybody goes to this bar called the Truck Yard, which is like
Okay.
a bunch of food trucks
Yeah.
set around a patio with a big, nice bar and stage.
Yeah. Fun.
So
Nice.
they all show up there, and then buses drive them 1 mile away.
Okay.
They take a bag.
After they're all
and-
hammered.
No, they're not drinking it.
Oh, okay.
They get there at like 9 a.m. or something like that.
Got it.
Then they walk back and they pick up trash and they fill up a trash
Oh,
bag.
cool.
And they get free tickets to the festival and 2 free drinks.
Cool. Okay.
So it's like
Yeah, that's
everybody
fun.
gets to see music. Everybody picks up trash. It helps the community.
Yeah.
So first problem, buses are running late, so it doesn't start till late. Second
Yeah.
problem, it's Texas, so
Everyone's mad.
you. And
Yeah.
it's just 110.
Yeah.
So everyone that was supposed to be there at 9 to walk when it's still only like 80 outside is now
Right.
like picking
Mad.
up trash in 110.
Yeah.
They underestimated the people, so they ran out of the free drinks.
Oh,
So they didn't
no.
have the coupons.
Yeah.
And then there was like PA issues, so the music couldn't start.
Oh,
so
jeez. So like everything went bad.
everything's going wrong.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, well, I'll get up there. I'll thank the sponsors. I'll say
Yeah.
something nice.
Yeah.
I've got a joke to immediately get them on my side, and then I'll just wing it.
Yeah.
You
Here
know?
we go.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So then my buddy gets up there and he just thanks all the sponsors, and then he introduces
oh, no,
me.
He took your set.
And I'm like,
Dude.
I was gonna get favor, and I got up there and I was like, hey guys, one person we all forgot to thank. Let's thank everyone who litters, because without them, where would we be today?
No one laughed?
And I do this, and a lady like 3 rows back goes, boo! And another lady,
amazing.
I can still see her. She's got stupid pigtails. She stands up and goes, is it your first time?
Oh, my gosh.
And it was my second. And
yeah.
I just, like,
so
I
you're
had-
like, no.
and there's kids in the crowd, so I couldn't swear.
Right.
And that's my crutch.
Of course.
And so I'm like,
Oh, no.
so the first band.
Did they tell people that you were a comedian?
No.
Yeah.
No,
So
there was
you
just
went up
like,
cold.
here's your MC.
Yeah, got it.
And then I got up there and said that thing,
You're
and
like, "Here
everyone
it
was like,
is."
we hate you, let's
Yeah,
kill him,
Yeah, just get to the music.
die.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
band goes up, I proceed to get just blasted.
Wow.
I end up telling some pretty raucous stories on stage. that
Yeah.
are very vulgar.
Oh, good
I
for
pandered
you.
to some bikers.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just not a good time. And then the last band, I forgot their name.
Oh, no. Yeah.
They are called Uneasy Pilgrim, but I was so blasted. I got up there and I was like, give it up for Pilgrim Men. And the lead singer is this guy, Justin Casey, and he's such a cool dude. He got there and he's like, it, we're Pilgrim Men. And played it. And I ended up hanging out with them. And I remember leaving there to go get popsicles with some people.
Okay.
And when they went to hand me my popsicle, I thought it'd be a funny bit to just grab the popsicle by the middle of it. And I did.
Yeah.
And I'm still friends with like 4 of those musicians from that day on
Yeah.
Facebook. But so I quit doing anything on stage for like a year and a half after that.
Wow. It was just that
Yeah,
traumatic.
it was awful. And
Yeah.
like no one was there to support me. None of my friends showed
Right.
up. So there's one dude
You're
from
just
work.
alone.
I bombed, got wasted.
Yeah.
And then was just like, oh, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
But not literally,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
kind of, but
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. your entertainment self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I quit everything, and then I ended up moving down to Austin for work, and because it's just the best city in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Dallas is trash.
Yeah.
Fort
I've
Worth
heard-
is nicer trash.
Uh-huh.
Houston is LA with no hope.
Interesting.
San
That's gotta be
Antonio
awful.
is like a swap meet was a city.
Yeah.
And Austin is like you dropped an art school into a rodeo.
Got it.
It's just like this beautiful, fun little oasis.
Huh.
There's actually texture to the ground there. There's
Okay.
hills.
Yeah.
There's water.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's art.
Sure. Sure.
And I moved down there, and I was doing motivational speaking stuff and personal development at the time.
Okay.
And I'd been in like a weight loss documentary, and I was like
Oh,
really
yeah.
plugged in with this community.
Yeah.
And I was telling everybody I was a stand-up comedian,
Uh-huh.
but I wasn't doing stand-up.
Oh, sure.
And it was just like this very awful feeling, because I would sign up and do Cap City, which is like the big open mic there. It's kind of like, I mean, it's not really anything like anything here, because this is a real comedy spot. But
Sure. But like a potluck kind of thing, where
sort
it's
of,
like a
yeah.
religious
So everybody has to
gathering for
email.
comedians.
And everybody from the town that's a comedian will submit
Will
to
go.
that. And people that have never done it before will do it like for their first time.
Yeah.
And it's I think 3 minutes or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe 5. But so you'll get 50 to 60 audience members. Instead of just comedians watching your set, you have human beings watching your set.
Yeah.
So I did that one time and had a bunch of people come out and thought I did awesome.
Yeah.
And especially having not performed in forever and
Right.
having all these jokes that I'd written down. Because I started writing in Evernote and I started listening to comedians' podcasts and started just like binge listening to comedy to get an idea of it.
Right.
But I mean, I did like maybe 3 or 4 of these open mics at Cap City.
Yeah.
And it felt like enough to like lie to myself and say I was a comedian.
Okay.
But it didn't really count. And then I came out to LA in March of last year for a work thing for my job with like a coaching company.
Yeah.
And I was out here and I went to the store and I saw some show in the belly room and was like, holy shit, this is the best place on earth.
Sure.
And then the next night I went to the Largo and saw Patton Oswalt and Mary Lynn Ratchsub. I always her last name.
Yeah.
But she's hilarious. So 2 of them crushed it. And then the next night I went back to the store and then I went back to the store again. So like 4 days I went and saw like all of these just like world beater comics.
Yeah.
And I was like, this,
I'm not that.
I gotta be doing comedy.
Yeah.
And it still took like 2 more months. It wasn't until like May that I started going to like actual open mics.
Yeah. And you were
like-
still living in LA that whole time?
I was in
no, you
Austin.
went back to Austin.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just came out here to
Okay,
visit.
visited for work, then went back. Got it.
So May of last year is when I started like actually doing open mics at places that weren't that one.
That weren't
comedy
just Cap
club.
City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when I really count starting comedy.
Got it.
'Cause that's when I started going like almost every day.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So what got you started in the first place? Other than just being the class clown, attention seeking? Or was that what drew you to stand up? Why?
That's I wish that I had like some cool answer for it, but I mean I remember listening to Dane Cook a lot as a kid.
Okay.
And like I had a Sufi shirt, like with a super figure.
Of course you did. Yeah.
And I remember I tried the cashew thing where you put like a cashew on your boner and try and catch it. I remember listening to like Bill Engvall's album Dorkfish. And some of that stuff and just thinking it was so funny. And I never got to watch any like stand up growing up. And then when I started watching it, it was like, oh, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, sure.
And I think a couple of times like my dad took me to see like Daniel Tosh.
Oh, cool.
And those are some of like my best memories ever. Is going and just laughing so hard I cried.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh man, I'd like to do that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So now I try to do that.
Yeah.
I haven't made anyone cry yet. With good.
Out of laughing so hard.
I accidentally. So sometimes I say the word retarded, and I mean it pejoratively to call someone stupid.
Right.
But I would never mean it to
like
a retarded person.
Old people did in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone that like. If I'm saying it, hey man, you're retarded.
Yeah.
Like everyone knows that I mean that person's dumb.
Right.
No one thinks I'm
But
saying
how
like,
dare you?
hey man, you have Down syndrome and you're a worse person for it.
You give all of the mentally handicapped people a bad name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a better insult. I would like to start saying that. I'm not even going to say you're retarded. I'm saying you give all other mentally handicapped people a bad name. That's how dumb you are.
Oh my goodness.
But I said it the other day and there was one in the room.
Oh.
And that was such a, I feel like 1,000.
Was it the thing where everybody
people
turned
just
to that
came
person
at the same time? They're like, "Your comeuppance, it's here!" Like,
Yeah.
You're faced with it.
You're
like
canceled already?
Yeah, because I mean, I did feel bad.
Yeah.
I didn't want her to feel like I was being mean about her.
Yeah.
I wanted her to think the person in the story was retarded. Like,
Right. Of course. Yeah.
I don't know why I brought that up. It's just that was.
I don't know why either, but I'm so glad that you're getting us canceled right here. You're spreading your contagion.
I mean, you're not gonna get. I was just saying, for me, like, that's been an interesting thing on my mind lately. Is how can I be funny and be true to comedy without being hurtful of people?
Oh,
I like to dampen it by just saying "tarded." It's a little more southern, you know what I mean?
the re is the part.
No,
that's
Yeah,
the
the
wrong.
especially
Reese's
because
hurtful.
if they're retarded, they're not
Be
gonna know
like,
what you're talking
I got
about.
cousin, he's tarded. You
Yeah.
know, you just kind of drop it
Yeah,
softly.
just the first time, not
like
twice.
they know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Of
but
course
it's
they
less
do.
hurtful.
Of course
you know?
Yeah, like
gonna
Sia
dampen the
softened it by
blow.
doing the like D to D thing, right?
I don't think that's softening it.
Okay.
I think he literally acted retarded.
Well, who is it?
I consider that softer.
That's fair.
There's a British comedian. Why can't I think of his name? But he's like incredibly inappropriate. But that's
Jimmy Carr?
Jimmy Carr.
Yeah.
He has a joke that's like, I could act out what I'm about to tell you, but I think the act out would be worse than me just
Arguably.
telling you that, you know.
Remember
this
when
guy-
our president did that? Wow. What a kooky time.
Dude, you know what's so crazy is like,
Sure.
there are so many people I see, even here at Fourth Wall and just open micers in general,
Yeah.
that are not even a tenth as funny as Donald Trump.
Dude, that dude slays.
I mean,
Murders,
His-
dude.
just can't judge the man
his
for killing.
tweet about Greta was amazingly funny.
right. I forgot about
It was so good. I don't think he wrote it, to be honest. But
Dude, his
it
tweet
was
about
so
ASAP.
funny. Yeah.
He spelled ASAP with the dollar sign.
I mean, he's hip though. That's why he did that.
He knows.
He's so hip.
Dude, I mean, that was probably the best
one
tweet
of
I've
my-
ever read.
One of my roommates is like a big Trump supporter.
Yeah.
And like for the first like few months I lived here like with him, anytime
Yeah.
I'd go out of town, I'd come back and there'd be a Trump flag over my door.
Wow.
And on our mantle,
Do you
he
not
has-
like Trump at all?
No.
Yeah, okay, fair
I-
enough.
I like
Yeah,
Space
yeah.
Force,
Sure.
but like even Hitler built the Autobahn. So
Yeah.
like, you know,
That's
Yeah.
really good.
yeah,
there's
we're
always
good.
a redeeming
Yeah.
quality in
There's
anything.
something.
I think about that when I'm
That's
on the
probably
high.
the worst thing I've said on the there's even
I
Hitler
mean, man,
built the Autobahn.
jeez.
It did fix German infrastructure.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and we
What were you gonna say, Travis?
I think about that when I'm driving the 405 sometimes.
Yeah, the
Like,
Autobahn.
We wouldn't have highways if it wasn't for Hitler.
right.
And the 405 is a good example.
Oof.
yeah.
Anyhow, so
See, this is why I'm choosing to be nice now. So
Yeah.
I had a lot of very funny things to add to that that are just deeply anti-Semitic
well, you know, then that's one group we don't want to make mad.
because they control everything.
Yeah, jeez.
Pay us a lot
They're
of money.
just so rich. So
That's
I wanna
probably why I like them more.
yeah, because
No, I
they're
hate
wealthy.
poor people. So like,
If they would just make better decisions,
I like their
Right.
decisions.
do you?
All of my friends that have come back with their 23andMe and been like, "Look, I'm like 40% Ashkenazi." I'm like, "Yes,
Good.
that is why I like you. Like, you're sensible. You're
Probably
responsible.
save 40%.
Yeah,
Just do that with your
that's
paycheck.
awesome.
Prove
I
it.
should.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Now I want to talk about why you hated religious people.
Yeah.
Was it because of overt things religious people had done to you, or was it more
No.
just like?
I never got molested or any of that. I think I was too fat and probably too
Okay.
loud.
Sure,
Like they're not
maybe.
gonna risk it
So
on
can't
like the
trust
class
that guy.
clown. Like,
Yeah.
like, oh, if I figure him, he's gonna tell everybody. You
He's
know?
a total snitch.
Yeah. What a slut. Yeah.
Right. The worst kind. Worst kind of slut is a snitchy one.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
A
Loud
mouthy
sluts.
slut.
Hey, Mike, how would you describe yourself in kindergarten, fourth grade? Well, a mouthy slut.
Mouthy slut for sure.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Oh, it's incredible. I think that's why they put us in those little uniforms. Like,
Oh,
they
the
give us those
Catholic?
Like, look how hot they look at their little vests.
Yeah, of course. Of course, that's why. You kidding me? They want you to
They
look
have
as
those healthy
adult.
school lunches to keep us lean.
Yeah, they want you to look as adult as possible. There's
Hell
nothing
yeah.
better than a kid in a suit.
Yeah, little 7-year-old with a tie.
Yeah, come on, that's great. Bow tie's even better. You seen 7-year-olds in bow tie?
I just
It's
want
so fun.
It.
It's just
Yeah.
so fun.
Spin it with my dick. You know? Oh,
Wow,
What?
that took a turn. That
Were we
took a-
not doing a molester joke? I thought
I
this was a whole kid bit. I'm not trying to just bring kid into it. I thought we were all on the same page.
Wow.
I was there with you.
Yeah.
All right, good.
No,
good.
yeah.
So,
I'm feigning innocence.
so
Yeah.
I think my like contempt with religion happens because you can find all these amazing echo chambers of people that talk
Yeah.
about the bad things that have happened in their life.
Yeah.
And you read things like The Missionary Position, which is like the book that is
Yeah.
the expose of how terrible a person Mother Teresa was.
Oh, sure.
So
Yeah,
you-
yeah,
and
yeah.
you find out, and like when you grow up being told, like, like that, none
Right.
of that was like a causal relationship. It was like, oh, I got to go to sad, boring Jesus class so that I can go
Yeah.
to recess with my friends.
Yeah.
And then if your whole family believes all that and it's all just taken as truth, and then as you get older, you're like, oh, well, that part was made up. I'm like, oh, and then
Uh-huh.
like, my dad is a very critical thinker, and he had been Catholic, and then my stepmom was Methodist, so he started doing that, and then he like just tried to figure his own out.
Yeah.
And we all like did our own learning, and you know, it's just you learn so much about how much of the Bible is like flubbed. Like the Council of Nicaea and like all these times that like books have been cut out,
Right.
translations and all these just things that like I took Latin in
Yeah.
high school for
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
And our senior year, our class was to translate Virgil's Aeneid into English.
Right.
And looking at I'm a smart dude, but I'm, half a tard.
Sure.
And so,
Okay.
see, I do like it that way.
It's nice, right?
Half-tarded. So
Yeah.
I remember translating stuff and still feeling like, I don't know that you get the same
Yeah.
gist. Because he would talk about things that were like so poetic and beautiful.
Right.
Because he's a poet.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I'm a scholar.
Yeah. What does
take
each
these
word
words.
mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily what did he mean.
So,
Yeah.
and I think like just having that for context and then learning about how much had been lost in translation and then seeing what had been used to justify with, I mean, not even like the typical things like the Crusades. Those are the first ones where you're like,
Yeah, right.
see, millions were killed.
Yeah.
But then like you get into like Sam Harris and like the
Oh, yeah,
philosophical,
right.
like, all right, what is our duty? And then I think what I came to believe was every good thing we get from religion could be gained without the baggage of religion through a non-dogmatic agnostic approach.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt so smug
Oh,
in
yeah.
the certainty of that
Yeah.
it then just became how can I get someone else to believe that and fix their ignorance.
Right.
Like I
Became your own religion.
Yeah, I wanted to like show how smart I was
Right.
by enlightening them. And they'd
Right.
be like, "Oh,
Yeah. What was I thinking and doing this
Whoa.
whole time?
why did I want to have my own happiness?"
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And I think that also just came from an insecurity of my own beliefs.
Sure.
Because choosing to believe in not knowing what's out there, like,
Yeah.
how do you nail that down?
Yeah. Right.
Hey, Mike, what do you
right.
believe in?
I
Oh,
don't
no!
know. Yeah.
Violently.
But you
Yeah.
are wrong.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I
yeah.
know. Yeah. For
It's like,
sure.
I don't know what it is, but I know that's not it.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
That's a hard one to prove.
Well, I mean, yes and no, right?
And I did DMT enough recently that all that's gone back around the other way.
You're like, no, there's totally
for sure
stuff
happens when you die.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Where are you really on that now? Do you?
That was genuine.
Yeah. So you believe in like an afterlife or
So
an existence?
here's where I've gotten my his arc has gone. I was kind of into this just like apathy area where it was like I don't really care what you believe as long
Sure.
as everybody's being a good person.
Right.
And I want to enjoy as much of my life while I'm here. So there's like absurdism. It's just the idea that you assign meaning to anything.
Yeah.
So that was my like governing moral structure. It was just that I assign meaning and value, and then I try to follow a good moral compass.
Uh-huh.
And then after doing DMT, I had a couple of just visual experiences,
Yeah.
and it's hard because it's not necessarily when you see something on a trip,
Yeah.
it's not like someone is communicating something to you,
Uh-huh.
but it's just simply by seeing it that you've gained knowledge.
Uh-huh.
So when I had this vision in my head of this very large organic gear, it was
Gear?
like
Is that what you
so it was
said?
like a
Yeah.
star,
Yeah, okay.
but it was shaped like a gear,
Okay.
and it was rotating,
Yeah.
and there were little droplets on it, and they would start at the top of the gear, and as they moved to the bottom of the gear, they would get larger and separate off.
Uh-huh.
And just intrinsically, as I looked at that, I knew that that's where souls come from.
Okay.
And that's like a just
Interesting.
Like, yeah, and it sounds
Yeah.
very schizophrenic and weird to say, and
Sure.
especially to someone that hasn't done a bunch of or any hallucinogen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that there's something interesting to be noted about how many people that have done this same drug have had such similar kinds of experiences,
Uh-huh.
and just the feelings that I've had of a distinct, separate consciousness inside of me that is not part of my body.
Interesting.
So it feels like my body is a suit for an energy being.
Sure.
And that those two things have separate and competing interests,
Yeah.
and that occasionally they align.
Interesting.
So
yeah.
that all draws back to a lot of what I thought is interesting all along is that like religious truths came out of practical truths that we learned and then applied into dogma. Like the whole idea of like not eating pork is because pigs are dirty animals and before we had any good like regulations around that, like
Yeah.
way back in the day, eating pig, you could probably die.
Right.
You
Right.
know? And like shellfish, you'd probably kill you. Like
Sure.
Like there was a lot of these rules around like modesty and stuff that were just the cultural norms of the time came from truths that they understood that I think that we've gotten away from with technology and a loss of culture and a loss of
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
So I think like sometimes you tap back into these like essential truths of what is the human condition and what it is to be conscious. And that, so now I don't know what I believe, but I know that I don't know anywhere near as much as I thought I did.
Got it. Sure.
So I bet something happens when we die,
Yeah.
but I
Just
feel like,
no idea what that
dude,
would
if I
be.
got to like just posture on what I thought was true, it would sound like every homeless person on Skid Row. Just like, I bet there's a memory barrier around the earth and our souls go out to go to alien land and that's where you go on DMT. And when you die, you get to be an alien and talk to all the people that are there on DMT, but you can't remember it because energy barrier.
Yeah. Right.
You know? But
right.
that's probably not.
I mean, it might be. There's some parallels there
Maybe.
to a lot of conventional religious thought, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you discredit like revelation, right? Because a religious argument is that, well, the reason people didn't eat pork in biblical times was because of a revelation, right? That prophets received from God to say, here's now our code.
Yeah, I think
in order to
that's-
show your, faith.
It was the
We're-
butchering techniques at the time too.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
think it's more that
They'd slit the bile sac, which would corrupt the meat, which
Right.
would just killing people.
Yeah, so like I think that it's that was the thing that I mean they didn't know that was what was happening.
Obviously.
They knew that like
But there was
sometimes
something.
they up and they were killing people.
Yeah.
and,
And
then
same
the
with
people were
shellfish. You said shellfish allergies. Like they didn't know what that was. It's just,
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
his
sometimes
throat
people
closed
fucking
up and
die.
he died
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of
Well, I mean, referred to
crab.
these foods as unclean, right? Like
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
something wrong with them when you
Yeah,
did
they were
it
often
this
people and
way.
they didn't know
or-
why.
Right.
So like wouldn't it make like Occam's razor, like what's the least amount of bullshit we gotta get to answer that question
Yeah.
is stuff was killing people, government's supposed to make sure that people don't die.
Yeah.
What is better? Hey, I'm this guy in the building and I say don't do that, or God told me you can't have
Yeah.
this. Which one are you gonna listen to?
Well, I
God,
think
for
they're.
sure.
Do you think people have really changed that much? Because I don't think people today would listen to that reason as opposed to here's the study that we carried out, a survey, and this food is linked to X, Y, and Z, right? For instance, vaping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Currently, there's like this huge issue with people vaping and getting sick
Mm-hmm.
very quickly, right?
Vitamin E oil in the fake Chinese weed cartridges.
So it's like,
because our government's a pussy who won't legalize weed on a federal level. So we have to keep buying these Chinese
But my
knockoffs.
point is, right, like, how many people do you think really listen to God, who, in my opinion, has been saying, don't do these things?
Don't do drugs?
Right.
Okay.
As opposed to the government saying, hey, we've noticed people are dying or getting sick because of these things. Please don't do it. Which one do you think is more effective today? Because I don't think people
Well,
have changed that much.
I don't think that.
Well, I think they've changed exponentially.
Yeah,
You think people have changed completely?
yeah.
yeah. I think that our
Interesting.
relationship to how we take orders, because there is a bigger distance between the lowest person in the government and the highest person in the government. Like, there's more distance between those two people now than ever before. Like, just a common citizen and the
Yeah.
president have so many layers of what's between them.
Yeah.
Versus, like an average person and like the pharaoh in Egypt.
Yeah, but you didn't think that was...
So,
But I mean, there was...
so check it out. Think
Okay.
about this. So,
all right.
people have always believed quicker based on their emotions than they have on facts.
Yeah, sure.
So I think that what I mean by listening to God, I'm saying if you take the
You think that's more an
God
emotional
out of the
appeal.
equation, like that, it is. It's a fear-based appeal.
Yeah.
Like if your punishment for disobeying the law is being arrested and going to jail, or your punishment for breaking the law is to go to hell for all eternity and lose all of your
Sure.
good things, and your
Sure.
7 generations of sons all get raped.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Oh, wow. I didn't read that verse.
Yeah,
but
well-
yeah, go ahead.
you gotta subtext.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Footnotes. Right.
Well, in the Aramaic.
This is what they meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I think
No, I
that
think you have a
it's
point
the same
there.
thing now is that people believe. I mean, if you look at the propaganda of the mainstream media, and you look at how they sell stuff, it's all fear based.
Yeah.
Everything that they're talking about is like
Sure.
to scare you into listening to their sense of authority.
Sure.
That's how that's how everything is kind of like passed down. Every law. It's just like, hey, you'll get up.
Yeah.
You'll be in a box where
Yeah.
they rape.
There will be something
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
all
Yeah.
fear.
And I mean that's even what prison is prison isn't rehabilitative here. Prison is fear-based.
Right,
It's
right.
we're going to put you in a box.
Yeah.
And the worst thing we can do to you is put you in solitary. We have to deal with just being by yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that's how terrible of a person you are, that your biggest punishment is that you're alone.
You're going to be alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that there's been, like Nietzsche had the, religion is the opiate of the masses.
Right.
Because it does allow you to, I mean, sign off on a lot of personal responsibility. If
Yeah, in
you
what
say
sense?
that,
What do you
like,
mean?
Well, God's got this covered. So, I'll do my best in my little sphere, but, if that bad
Yeah.
thing happened, that's
Sure.
God's will.
Sure.
And I think it can be used constructively too, where it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
it was God's will for me to help this person, so I need to do that.
Yeah.
I just think that if people were to sit down and look at what they believed and why they believed it and the benefits they got from it, and then the drawbacks of those communities and what those communities are doing, that they would see that there is a better option for them. Like when I have like Mormon friends,
Yeah.
they're the nicest people in the
Yeah.
world.
Like me.
Like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
never been a time where I met someone that was like actually into being Mormon.
Yeah.
That wasn't also the nicest person.
Maybe you haven't
Fair.
met very many of us.
No, dude, there were so many. They love pine box cars. They love G-rated movies.
Yeah.
They love going to bed on time. Like they get a boner for having a bunch of canned food. Like
Sure.
it is just like
Sure.
I remember and like there were the ones that didn't follow it that were the party crazy ones. And those were fun.
Yeah.
I a lot of Mormon girls that were just like, ooh, Salt Lake. But like
Mormon women seem to be very attractive too. I don't know how they all
they
pull
got them
that
good
off.
genes.
Yeah.
Joseph Smith wasn't raping ugly people,
To be fair. I don't think he was raping anybody. But
Sir.
go on.
Okay.
Go on.
Believe women.
We could talk about this for hours. Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
so like every time I meet someone that like adheres to their Mormon beliefs, they're amazing, super kind,
Sure.
selfless people. And then I look at all the things that are happening in the Mormon Church of the way they treat the LGBT community and like all of these
Yeah.
like, gay teens.
So what
that
do
are
you
being
mean by that?
ostracized. So,
Yeah.
So like I
I wonder about this too because
I constantly see stories of similar to what happens in the Catholic Church, where there's like blatantly sexual things that are covered up by
Yeah.
members of the community, and because there is a need to save face rather than to condemn that individual member, the
Sure.
church as an organization covers it up.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and so there's a lot of secrecy behind it, and then also like with some of the stuff with like the secret handshake stuff.
Okay.
I watched the guy that took the cool body cam in and then did all the cool
Oh.
like through the door
course.
awesome stuff.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's just I wonder how much of that is being used as like a negative thing to psychologically imprison people in a system. Like shouldn't
Yeah.
it always be a choice? Like the people, like I said, that adhere to the Mormon dogma are always super kind people.
Yeah.
So instead of trapping them there, shouldn't you allow it to continue to be their choice to do that?
What do you,
like-
choice to do what? That's I guess
to
where I'm losing
adhere to
you.
all of the good parts.
Yeah, of course it is.
niceties. So yeah, but if you don't, you get excommunicated and lose your entire social standing.
Well, what
Like, if
nicety? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
I don't know that I have like a good concrete
Like a good
example.
like, yeah.
of
Well, fair
what
enough.
The
Fair enough.
specific dogma
Because
of
you're
it
not
is.
just like there are certain things that you have to do if you want to be excommunicated,
coffee.
right? You're not going to be excommunicated if
All
you
right,
have coffee,
good.
right?
Good.
Like
All right,
It's
that makes
delicious.
me happy.
the excommunicated stuff, which is like the church saying you're no longer a member of our faith,
Yes.
is when typically it's incredibly serious moral offenses, right? So like sexual offenses, they've committed adultery repeatedly, or
Adultery is just cheating, right?
sure,
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I want to be
Yeah,
clear.
yeah.
Because it sounds
So
like a
you're
big
married.
Bible-y word for.
You're married
okay.
and you cheat on your spouse
Gotcha.
with someone else,
Yeah.
right? And
Okay.
Is butt stuff in that umbrella?
no, I don't think
no?
so.
Oh.
I don't think so. It
Poopo
is.
loophole,
it is-
poopo loophole.
I think the official church policy is that it is not okay to do that, but it's not like an excommunicable offense if you're
So
doing
you-
that with
yeah.
your wife.
So if you,
So
you
the
fish
official,
hook
Right.
it real quick.
but you can't do that with your
good.
husband. So
Well,
if she was
you-
pegging you,
Wait, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah,
That's-
okay,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
sure.
No, you got it
I
now.
don't think that also would be an excommunicable offense.
What about being gay though? Is that really? Is it
So this is
super
where you
not
get into
cool?
murky territory because you can be gay, right?
Yeah.
But then you cannot act on your homosexuality.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like that's the distinction. I really want Mike to choke. Right?
Right as I took a drink. It's the dumbest sentence in history. Well, you can be gay, you just can't do gay. You know?
No, you can go to your musicals, okay? You can enjoy and sing
That's
along.
not gay. That's just musicals.
I know, that's the point. What I'm saying
You
is
can't do good butt stuff.
right, you cannot be
No.
in a homosexual relationship, practicing
butt
homosexual sex.
Well, that makes me sad.
you know, doing that.
Which I just don't get where that part comes from.
Yeah.
Because to me, it seems like just such a weird and that's where like a lot of the stuff in the church world in
Yeah.
general just
Yeah.
at me.
Yeah. It seems arbitrary, is what you're saying.
Not only does it seem arbitrary, but it seems vindictive. Like it seems like, oh, we don't
Sure.
like those gays, so no gay. You know?
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with what we think of the individual. I think it's more our view on sexuality in general, that it's meant to be used only to procreate, right? Like that's the ultimate purpose for it. Obviously, you're not condemned if you're having sex and not having a baby after, right? If you're not conceiving each time you have sex, you're not under some sort
Yeah,
of
because that would be
condemn.
some crazy. Like,
And there are tons of
batting average.
Yeah.
Like,
There-
how many times do you
Be
come?
great
4.
sports.
How many
Yeah.
kids?
4. That's it. That's when we do it.
Wow.
And there are lots of couples that can't have children, heterosexual couples, right? That can't have children. They're not under any condemnation from the church. So it has nothing to do with, I think it's mostly
And
just
that's why it's like, okay,
you
so
have
that-
these parameters,
Yeah.
right, that God has given us in which you should be having sex. And if you're outside of that, regardless of if you're heterosexual or homosexual, it's bad.
So and that's
So like you can't have premarital sex, nor can you have adulterous sex. And no one's complaining about that being restricted.
well, no, because that's not like a specific attraction that someone is born with. Like I wasn't just born like, hey, you know what I'm really into?
I really wanna-
cheating on my wife.
Some people are, though.
I know some
You
people
know what I mean?
that are that way, but like that's not
Some
what they're
people are
attracted to.
really into kids. That's also not okay.
Yeah.
Right?
But I don't think that there is any damage being caused by homosexual relations, whereas
Sure.
adultering relations, there's a victim. Kid there's a victim.
Sure.
Animal
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
okay with that one. But as long as the animal says yes.
Peter's a huge supporter of this
Yeah.
podcast, so you
PETA.
better take that back.
PETA I'm cool with. But but you
Yeah.
know, I just
I can understand that. I can
I
understand
think that it seems like I can get the angle of, all right, sex is supposed to be used as like a sacred thing between like two loving partners
Yeah.
for the intent of
Yeah.
procreation.
Yeah.
However, like you said, now after those two loving partners are together
Right.
and they're infertile, they're no
Yeah.
longer allowed to.
No, of course they can.
They can
Sex. Yeah.
because now they're married.
Yeah. Well,
So
and part
it
of
should
that,
be the same where like two
Yeah.
ladies love each other.
Sure. I mean, I
And
see
they're
the
like,
argument,
We
but
can't procreate, but we should get to marry because we've lived in God's love, and like
sure.
now we're together, and now we get
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
scissor times.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, clam smash.
Clam fish. That was
I
such
think
a
it-
fun one to hear. Just out of the corner. Just clam fish.
I think it is different, though. I think
Why?
it is different. Well, okay, so the couple that cannot have children because of some sort of, procreation
something
issue,
that God did to
right?
them.
Sure, if you want to take it that way. That is an imperfection in the body,
Mhm.
right? It's not an imperfection in whatever else, right? It's the body. Like their bodies are just bad, and in the
Okay.
resurrection, that'll be all fixed up, right? And so for my faith, gender is incredibly important. So it might be that some male spirit or female spirit got into the wrong body. Maybe that happens.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
And maybe that's why these two individuals are attracted to each other, because one is like this male body inside of a female, male spirit
That's
inside
so
of a female body.
interesting.
I have no idea.
Yeah, me
But
either.
gender is incredibly important. I know that,
'Cause-
right? Like that is what because of the biological issues with procreation, right?
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
have a man, you have to have a woman.
Or a tube.
But you have to
Yeah,
have
the
a man,
parts.
you have to
Yeah,
have
the parts.
semen from
Yeah, yeah.
somewhere, and you
Yeah.
have to have an egg from somewhere.
Someone recently told me that you could get. Never mind.
Okay. Well, we got to wrap up. But
Okay.
man, I love talking to you about
Ah,
this, and I can't wait for all the
hoot.
hate mail to come in
I
on
just-
this episode.
I just think that even if it's the spirits are trapped in wrong bodies.
Yeah.
If we're going down that avenue.
Yeah.
The issue I take with it is that if someone is born gay
Yep.
and they're born and they want to be Mormon
Yep.
and they want to participate in that church
Yep.
and they want to participate, they have now given up the opportunity to have a partner. Or
No,
to
not
live sexually, because they can only do that if they go against their own nature. Like, so I
Right.
could never a dude.
sure.
I don't have it in me.
Yeah.
Like I imagine like I maybe could a trans woman.
Okay.
Like in like like if I was drinking, and I know that sounds to say. Like I'm just saying, like
Hey.
I don't know that I have any like moral objection or anything.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
man, this all sounds very stupid. But what I was trying to explain to someone recently, because a lot of people, since I bleach my hair, they're like, "Oh, so you're gay?" And I'm like, "No."
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No, oh,
Right?
no. Yeah.
But so it's like when I look at a man, I can say like a man is attractive, and I can see like a man and think like, "Oh, that is a very good looking dude."
Yeah.
But nothing there is ever sexual.
Sure.
Like, there's nothing where I was like, when I see like a hot,
Yeah.
even sometimes when I see an ugly girl,
Yeah.
I'm like I'd like to be in that.
Yeah.
But like there's never been a dude where I was like, I want it that
yeah.
same way.
Sure. Fair enough.
But I would have to believe that it's the exact same thing for people that are gay.
Yeah. Of course.
Where
of
like
course.
they're like, oh, I want to be in that to their thing of choice.
Yeah. Of course.
So for them to be a happy practicing married Mormon, they would have to not. They would have to do that thing against that, and that's where it bothers me, because it's like I don't think anyone should be born out of luck.
Yeah. Well.
Like I think there should always be an opportunity for redemption.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That doesn't.
And I think that
require
will
going
be
against your nature.
I think that will be corrected in the
So-
resurrection. I don't think.
Oh, do you
I
think they'll be
don't think.
ungayed?
Right.
Oh, whoa!
I'm going out there.
Do you think it's gonna happen like mid for anyone?
I doubt.
Oh, well,
that.
they wouldn't be cured because
Yeah. No, it'll be in the
cured was
resurrection,
a wrong
like
term,
after
but
this
yeah.
life, right? I think that
Oh,
is
that's what that is.
a struggle. We all have struggles,
Ungayed.
We all
is
have
my
struggles.
favorite phrase I've ever heard.
Slam smash.
and that
Sorry,
is
friends.
their struggle
Ungayed.
in this
Yeah.
life, and that will be corrected in the next life, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's not a popular opinion. I realize that, but we got to wrap up, Mike. We got to
Yeah.
get out of here.
Yeah.
But
Let's
thank
do
you
this.
so much
This
for
was
coming
fun.
on. Anything you want to plug real quick? And I'll put where they can find you in the show notes.
I've got a show November 1st.
Oh, okay.
West Side
So this will
Comedy.
not air until after that.
Oh, great. Well,
It'll be in a few weeks.
yeah. Well, then
So anything
just,
in like late November after Thanksgiving? Have you planned that far ahead?
late November is Thanksgiving. so
So
make
in-
sure to like call your families.
Yeah, invite them to your house.
Unless you're gay and Mormon, then don't, because they won't want to hear from
They
you.
do want to hear from you. They love you very much.
They want to hear that you're
They
cured.
should. They should love you equally.
Ungayed.
They're gonna send you a Pence camp
Oh, jeez.
like certificate.
Oh, jeez. I don't think those work.
Canceled.
Those
Yeah, I don't
camps.
think so either. Yeah,
Crazy.
so-
All right.
All right,
Well,
well, this was fun.
they'll find you on Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
The Mike Eaton.
Yes.
The.
And I'll put that in the show notes. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy.